It has come to my attention that the only thing you guys want from me nowadays is a reading vlog. And who am I to say no to that? So welcome to my first ever reading vlog. What do people even do on these? I think we're just gonna read for a week and I'm gonna take you with me on this journey. It is currently Monday, but let me catch you up on what I've been reading for the past 2 days, because I have read 2.5 books in the last 2 days. I know, zero life, okay? So let's get into this reading vlog. To make this fair, we're gonna pretend as if today is Saturday and I'm gonna walk you through the last couple of books that I've read, because you will be seeing this video on a Saturday. Hence, we're gonna pretend like I've already been doing this for 2 days, okay? So on Saturday, I started and actually finished the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Listen the fuck up. First of all, I did like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. That was the first book in the series. This is the second book in the series. I thought that the second book in the series is gonna follow the first one, the timeline wise, okay? It didn't. The cover of this book is very much giving fall, the name, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And then over here it says, all it takes is a little bit of sugar and spice. What does that give you? Fall. Fall vibes through and through. We have a tree, we have leaves. Any fucking who, this book is set in summer. This book takes place. That is exactly how I feel. So when I started reading this book, I thought I was gonna get like cozy fall vibes, and I got a summer romance. Just not what I was expecting, not what I was going for. And honestly, nothing really happened in this book kind of at all. So I did end up giving it 3 stars. The only reason I read it within 24 hours because I actually listened to it on Audible. So that's how I was able to get through this book. Otherwise, I might have ended up falling asleep like 30 times while reading this. Now listen, after I finished the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore on Saturday at around 5, before I was going to bed, I was like, let me start a new book, okay? I'm just gonna read 1 to 2 chapters, nothing crazy, just, you know, just to get the feel for my next read. I ended up staying until 3 in the morning reading this shit. Yeah. We have The Temporary Wife, which is the second book to The Wrong Bride. I gave The Wrong Bride 4 stars. I read it, I believe, Thursday, Friday of last week. Now let me get to The Temporary Wife. I pretty much sat yesterday in the same exact spot for probably 6 to 7 hours. We don't really have to count. Finishing this fucking book. Now, 5 stars. I do not give like regular plotted romances, like, you know, when they get together by 50% of the book and then at the 70 or 80 mark they break up and then they get together again, you know, the standard fucking romance plot. I try to not give those 5 stars. This got 5 stars. This fucking thing got 5 stars. My jaw was so on the fucking floor reading it. It's not even funny, you hear me? One of the best books I've fucking ever read. Let me show you my tabs on this book because it's honestly, it's a little bit embarrassing. Yeah. Yeah, take that in. How many are in here? I don't fucking know, but this book, I feel like I put so many tabs in this book that it is now like thicker. Almost every single chapter is tabbed. I don't know why, okay? Every single time this man would open his mouth, I would tab it. I don't know, I'm just a fucking goner for Luca, and that's on that. So this is pretty much a romance between a secretary and a boss, and the way this was done, just chef's kiss. Luca, he might be one of my new favorite men out there, because the shit that he said slash did in this book was just, this book had me giggling and gasping every like probably 5 minutes. Let me just give you one of like my favorite scenes. So she ended up going on a date with one of her co-workers, okay? One of her co-workers obviously still works for Luca, the boss, okay? So what does he do? What does he do? He doesn't tell her that he doesn't want her to go on a date because he's in love with her. No, he sends out a company-wide memo where he pretty much says that there is now a no fraternization rule where you cannot date your coworkers anymore, okay? Then he shows up at the restaurant that she has a date in. He goes, oh, am I mistaken? This can't be a date, can it? Did you miss the memo sent out today? As of today, there is no fraternization rule in effect. Dating within the company is prohibited. You wouldn't want to lose your job, would you? He asked this to Theo, the guy that she's on a date with. And then he sits down and starts trying the food. She finds out that he bought the restaurant. And she's like, when did you buy this restaurant? Luca leisurely takes another bite of his food and goes, this afternoon. She goes, why did you come here? Why'd you buy a restaurant? And he's like, I don't fucking know. You make me act so fucking irrational when we both know I never make decisions based on my emotions. The second I heard you were going on a date with him, I knew I couldn't let this happen. So yes, Valentina, I bought the whole fucking restaurant just so I'd have a valid excuse to be here tonight. Yes, I'm actively trying to ruin your date, and yes, I'm not letting you go back to that fucking table. You want the full truth? I fucking hate that you were red for him, and I can't stand the way you were smiling at him when I walked in. You have never smiled at me that way, not once. And this is just one scene out of probably like 15 that had my jaw floored. Anyway, if you know what the fuck's good for you, you're gonna read this. Okay, now that that's been dealt with, the book that I'm reading right now, aka today, is The Unwanted Marriage, which is the third book in the set series. Not that far. I read only a couple of chapters, and so far I have been fucking devouring it. Okay, I probably will end up finishing it today, I think. Okay, so I'm 25% into this book, and hold on, let me fucking tell you what this thing is about. Okay, so this is again one of the brothers, because the whole series follows 6 brothers, well, sorry, 5 brothers and 1 sister. So there's 6 different books. This is book 3. And honestly, once again, something like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but the way this author writes is insane. It's so fucking captivating. It's not even funny, because none of the plots are like your typical romances. Like there's always something going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't know how to fucking explain it. Just read these books, okay? So this one is an arranged marriage, and they have been engaged since pretty much they were born. Like as soon as they were born, like the families knew that they were gonna get engaged, right? Now their wedding is in 6 months. So prior to that, they haven't dated. They've literally avoided each other. She comes from an abusive home relationship. Her dad abuses her. So while he is trying to avoid her to not cause her any more problems, her dad is thinking that he avoids her and he's not gonna end up marrying her. So he beats her up for it. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and I'm telling you, he's gonna find out soon. And once he is, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna fucking scream, because I know this man, he will end the father. I'm telling you right now, he will. I'm so excited to watch it unfold. Listen to this shit. They show up to her dad's house, okay? The dad that abuses her. And the dad goes like, oh, go in the kitchen while the men talk. What does her husband do? He goes, my wife doesn't lift a finger in our own home. I'll be damned if I let her lift one in yours. Excuse me? Fucking use me? That's not it. That's not fucking it. This man, his favorite color was green his whole life, okay? And then when he danced with her at his brother's wedding, he literally decided to change his favorite color to blue, and not just any blue, a specific shade of her eyes blue, okay? And then he went and made his ties and cufflinks custom made to that color. His favorite color right until my wedding day was green. A few days later, he shows up at my studio telling me he wants a few ties and cufflinks in a very specific kind of blue. He spends an hour rejecting everything I offered him. And let me tell you, Dion doesn't do that. He's the most easygoing of us all. In the end, I had to custom mix colors for him and order him bespoke pieces. Are you kidding me? He took my favorite color is the color of your eyes to a completely next fucking level. Good morning. I ended up reading until like probably 12 a.m. last night. I didn't finish the book. I could have, okay? I only have an hour left, like a little bit less than an hour in the book, but I honestly didn't want to finish it because I was like not ready to let this man go yet. You know what we're not gonna fucking do? You know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna make me choose between these men. I know I still have 3 more books in a series, but I don't understand how one can write men that just have me so fucking flabbergasted. It's not even funny. I'm sorry, but listen to this shit. Listen to this shit. Dion goes, how long will it take for her to actually act the way I want her to? It's odd because I've always hated spoiled women, but that's exactly what I want to turn my wife into, a spoiled princess with the world at her feet. Yeah, that's fucking right. Well, guess what? I have finished The Unwanted Marriage. Fucking hell. You guys, I don't think you quite understand what these books are doing to me. I'm gonna give this one 4.5 stars because I gave the last one 5 stars, and I just feel like this one, it lived up to everything I've ever wanted it to live up to and more, but just Luca was just a smidge better than Dion. He's like, this should be borderline fucking illegal, okay? But anywho, I already downloaded the next book onto my Kindle. We're reading The Broken Vows, which is Zane's story, and I am so fucking excited about this one because he literally despises her. Like in this book and in the book before this one, he was like, literally, I despise her, I will do everything in my power to destroy her. And on top of everything, she was just married to another man. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I guess she's not married to him anymore. But like in this book, we found out that she was married to one of his rivals. I mean, not married, engaged. She was engaged to one of his rivals. Now she's all of a sudden engaged to him at the end of this book. So it's gonna be a good one. Excuse me, this shit has 97 chapters. How thick is it? Oh, there's parts to this. I'm sorry, excuse me. I wasn't even planning on reading right now. I need to go shower and get ready for bed, and then I'm gonna get cozy and start reading it, but listen to this. First chapter, first sentence. There aren't many people who I genuinely hate with every fiber of my being. In fact, my list is comprised of only one name, Zane Windsor. Good morning. Well, it's good afternoon, but you don't need to know that. I read about 17% of this book yesterday, so this much. We're obviously reading The Broken Vows, and here's the fucking thing. They're pretty much already together. We're at 17%. They're already together. The book started off, it has 2 parts, okay? The past and the present, I'm guessing. I'm still in the past. So I already know this book is about to slap me across the fucking face, because this is the thickest one of them all, and you're telling me if they're pretty much together by this point, what is this for? What is all of this for? Because I just know something terrible is gonna happen. And how do I know this? Because in the previous book, she was engaged to his rival. At the end of this book, she was engaged to his rival, okay? And right now, she's not engaged to the rival. And also in the previous book, he abso-fucking-lutely hated her, okay? In this book, all he wants to do is like win her over. He's groveling so hard. I have never seen a man grovel quite like this for a woman before. He is on his shit. Pretty much what's happening is she's playing hard to get, which I do love. She goes, I have a pretty good idea, Zane. You won't get me into your bed. I'll never want you. And then what does this man do? He makes her go on a date with her. He literally begs her until she goes on a date with him. He invites her over to her house, and when she walks on a gravel by his house, she ruins her shoes, and he ends up carrying her inside and then goes, I'll buy you a new pair. She goes, that's not necessary. He goes, I'll buy you a new pair. The next day, he sends the new pair to her office, and it's not just any pair of shoes. It is a pair of heels that has diamonds on it. Diamonds on the fucking shoes. Yeah, so whatever's about to happen, I know it will be happening soon. It's not gonna be a good one. Listen, it's actually getting so much fucking worse. I am like on chapter 30 now, and they've been dating for 6 months. 6 fucking months. I know this breakup is gonna hurt everybody, and it's coming very soon. I don't know when it's coming, but it is. And I don't think I'm ready for this one. I really don't. Okay, you guys, what the actual fuck? Like, I literally told you something was gonna happen, and it finally did. And when I'm telling you, I don't know how to feel after this chapter. I triggered. Absolutely triggered. I've actually never read a book with these 2 tropes in one combined, and I just experienced both of the tropes in one chapter. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how this fucking happened, and I don't know how to proceed. Pretty sure next chapter is gonna tell me what's actually happening, but like I already know what's happening, but like I don't, what the fuck? I'm not sleeping tonight. I am not sleeping tonight. I'm telling you that right now. Good morning. It's the next day. I ended up staying up until like 1 a.m. reading the fucking book last night. Listen, I'm so flabbergasted. Like, I don't understand. Okay, so listen, I don't want to spoil the book for you, which is why I don't usually do spoilers, but I feel like this needs to be discussed, okay? So I'm gonna put the little timestamps. If you don't want this book spoiled for you, you're gonna skip to this time right here. So, okay, now that everybody's gone, we're gonna talk about spoilers. You're telling me that at the end of part 1, Celeste is finding out that her best friend has been with Zane the whole time they were in a relationship, and the said best friend can't handle the fact that Celeste will never forgive her, so she goes and takes her own life? How is this fucking fair? How is any of this fucking fair? Like, who the fuck are you to even do that? Like, what? And then it fast forwards to 5 years later, and now they abso-fucking-lutely hate each other, and you're telling me that he hates her even more than she hates him. So what the fuck happened in these 5 years? Like, how all of this went down? Nobody's explaining anything to me, and I'm so fucking confused. But then also at the same time, he literally told her, I guess like they had a conversation before, and he told her that he did not cheat on her. Then how did her best friend lie and then just took her life for no reason? Like, what the fuck happened? Anyway, I'm 50% into the books and I still have 0 answers. Guys, it is Thursday evening and I just finished The Broken Vows. Also, I understand, I don't even know what to say about this book, because what do you do when you like kind of absolutely hate the character but like the book? Like, I don't know what the fuck to think, because when I'm telling you I absolutely hated, honestly, both of them. Like, I loved Zane, but he deserved so much more, and I guess it kind of grew on me in the last literally 3%, but until the last 3% of the book, I was like, there is no way they're gonna work out. Did this book keep me entertained? Abso-fucking-lutely. Did I kind of guess what was gonna happen and how the whole scenario went down with her best friend? Yeah, I kind of started figuring it out, but I also absolutely hate that she just couldn't trust him. Like, are you being so for real right now? You couldn't just trust him, and you wasted 5 years of your life, technically like 6 years until they got back together, on just like stupid ass shit. You couldn't just talk. You had to go through all of this. Like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's definitely not getting 5 stars, because 5 stars is an all in all perfect book. I think 4 stars is fair, because it definitely kept me entertained. Let me tell you that. But I'm also very upset about like half of it, and anyway, that was so fucked. But anyway, so tomorrow's Friday. I think tomorrow we're gonna start probably the 5th book in the series. I don't know, I feel like this vlog's just becoming me reading this series at this point. I didn't mean for it to happen like this, okay? So I think tomorrow we're gonna start the 5th book, and then we have 1 more after that. And yeah, good night for now. Happy Friday. I actually thought that we're gonna be able to read 1 more book in this vlog, but listen, today's Friday, November 1st, okay? And November 1st means Christmas decoration, and I kind of had to choose between starting a new book or setting up my Christmas tree. And you see where I'm going with it. So I'm definitely setting up my Christmas tree today. So I'm not gonna be reading today, which is why this vlog has officially come to an end, because you will be seeing it literally tomorrow. This was literally my first ever reading vlog, so I don't know if I did it right. I think that's what a reading vlog is. You just read and vlog. Right. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on my booktok for literally all the other book content that you didn't see in here. and follow me also on my Instagram for more day-to-day life updates. And yeah, let me know if you enjoy this videos and if you want to see more of these, because this was kind of fun. We kind of like FaceTimed almost every day this week. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.